Welcome to the Google Classroom Masterclass. My name is Larry Oguntoye, the Inspirational. In this particular unit, we'll be focusing on how to grade tasks, especially quiz in the Google Classroom. So, by the end of this unit, you'll be able to grade tasks set as quiz in the Google Classroom. So, let us get at it. So in order to be able to grade quiz thoroughly, let's see how the student answer quiz question. There are two types of quiz that could be set in the Google Classroom. The imported quiz or the quiz that you set within the Google Classroom using the Google Classroom quiz assignment option. Now, either of these, depending on the kind of account that you have. If you have a G Suite account such as this, in which the grade will be imported automatically, then you have no stress grading the task. It will be imported automatically and put into the grade sheet in the Google Classroom. Okay, this is the grade sheet in the Google Classroom. Okay, this is the grade sheet in the Google Classroom. So if you are using a G Suite account, the quizzes will be automatically work on the grades and put the grades under the quiz. Okay, so if you look at this is a recall quiz, for example, these are the two quizzes. Okay, the Google Classroom will import the grade automatically, so you need no stress about grading. Okay, but if you are not using a G Suite account, then you need to go through this process. First, let's see what the student how the student will work on the quiz. Okay, so this is Peter Joy, want to work on his quiz, recall quiz. Peter Joy clicks the quiz, okay, and goes to solve the quiz. He writes his name. It's very important that while setting up the quiz, you include the name because you need to know which child has which score. So I put that is Peter Joy. Okay, then Peter Joy goes ahead to solve this problem. Okay, Peter Joy picks this, and which is not a base, he picks this and submits. Okay, so you need to also guide your student through the use of the Google Classroom, how to submit tasks and the rest. So this student want to view his score. Okay, found out that he scored 2/4. Okay, 2/4, and the responses feedback are given here depending on how you set up your quiz in the Google form. So there's one more thing the student has to do. The student will open the assignment so that you will be sure that the child has turned in the work. Okay, so the child opens the assignment having answered the quiz question and goes to, okay, you can see here it says that the work is what is turned in. Okay, turned in. So the student is sure that the work has been what turned in. Okay, so the teacher's turn is to grade the task. So how will the teacher grade the student task? This task is particularly on quizzes. So the teacher goes to classwork, okay, and goes to fetch the quiz he wants to grade. So the teacher wants to grade this quiz, okay, wants to grade this particular quiz. So the teacher goes straight to the quiz, clicks the quiz, and is telling the teacher here that all the students in the class have turned in their work, so it is time to work. So the teacher can click that. That's one way to access the task that you want to mark. Okay, here you can see all the students in the class are here, so the teacher can actually put in the grade of the student here. You can edit this and put in their grade after you have looked at their work. And when that is done, you click this more button and you return to the student. Okay, but in this case, I want to see, okay, so if you have clicked on a particular child, you'll see that particular child's work. So then if you want to see all the students, you click on that, all the students. So how will the teacher know the score, since this is a quiz that the teacher imported, and even if the quiz is within the Google class, set within the Google Classroom, the teacher still needs to go outside the Google Classroom to the folder, okay, to bring the score in manually. So how will the teacher do that? I'll go to my folder, the teacher's folder, class folder, okay, the teacher's class folder, and locate this particular quiz in my folder. This is my class folder. You can see my drive, classroom, and this is the name of the classroom. So I'm looking for the quiz. Okay, this is the quiz, the recall quiz. So what the teacher does is that the teacher will click the quiz, okay, so that the teacher haven't clicked the quiz. You can see here it says 4 responses. That means 4 students have responded to the question. So the teacher clicks the responses. Okay, now you can see a whole lot of summary. Okay, how the student did their why they did the work for each of them. So you want to look at individual. So from here, if your student wrote their name on the quiz, you can just see each child name and the score. This particular child, okay, did not write his or her name, so I click to next. I just click next here, next. Now I can see Rukayat, okay, Bello, okay. Here you can see Rukayat Bello wrote her name, but she scored 0 out of 4. Rukayat Bello 0 out of 4. So you can go to the Google Classroom, okay, for Rukayat Bello. For that particular task, she scored 0 over 4. So the teacher puts 0. There you can see 0 and saving. For Rukayat Bello, 0 and saving. Then you return to her. That means she's going to get a task. Okay, return work to one student. Rukayat Bello 0 over 10. Yes, I put 0 over 10. You can put comment there. Okay, 0 over 10 for her. So can I grade for another student since I'm importing my score? So I go back to the form, I click next. Okay, what's the next? Okay, this is Peter Joy. That's Peter Joy. What did he score? 2 over 4. Okay, so I go to my Google Classroom straight. I just give Peter score. That is 2 over 4. Okay, so I give Peter score here. So I may need to adjust my score since the quiz, I didn't fully set the quiz because it's just a demo that I'm doing. So if the quiz should be the score on the quiz should be the same thing with the score you tag for your Google Classroom. So I'm just typing 2 there. I return to Peter. Okay, return to Peter. That is the score. Okay, so I go back to the form, to the Google Classroom form. So you can keep moving like that. But if you have a lot of students, let's assume you have 50 students in the classroom, you won't be clicking the arrow one after the other. So you will want to do something else. So at this edge, okay, you can let's look at this more. Okay, you can see that you can download responses in CFC file. You can export the quiz itself, or you want to export grade sheets. So if I click this, it's going to export a spreadsheet for me. Create a new spreadsheet called recall quiz. So on an Excel, okay, spreadsheet, I can actually see my student's name and their score. Okay, so you can see that at the time the student did the work and the score that they got. This student didn't write their name, so you can see Rukayat 0, you can see Peter Joy 2. So you can easily get their score from here at a glance and go to the Google Classroom and put in their score and return to the student. So grading task or quiz in a Google Classroom is that simple. So I want to reiterate there are two ways to do grading. Automatic grading, in which the Google Classroom will import the grades and put it in the grade sheet automatically, but that is available in G Suite account. So if you are using ordinary Google account to create your Google Classroom, you will not have the advantage of that premium service. So you will need to manually, okay, import your score into the Google Classroom and give the student their score just as I have shown now. Okay, so another way to go grade students work or how to get to student task is to go to the grade sheet. You can go to the grade sheet directly. Okay, go to the grade sheet and look at the particular uh, task that you want to grade with their dates there. So I want to grade this particular task. Okay, I can see here that I've not graded for these two students. In fact, you can see at a glance, looking at your grade sheet, which child has done his or her work. Okay, so you can just look at the child's work. You can want to view the child's submission. You can go and view the child's work directly and mark and return. Okay, or you want to look at the submission of all the students on a particular task. So in this case, we are looking at quiz. So you can click that. So it brings you to this particular platform. So you can enter this particular platform in those two ways. Okay, you can deal with a single child, okay, alone like that. You want to see a single child alone, or you can deal with all the student. Okay, so grading task in Google Classroom is not a rocket science. I will see you in the next unit. But before then, always remember that every teacher carries a womb that births the prosperity of the nation.